Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. Got a doozy for you today. I'm going to be sharing with you some fragrance stores that have started to pop up in Google search results, in Google shopping, that are selling just 100% fakes. Stores that you need to stay away from. Don't mess with them. Don't take a chance on it. You're going to get ripped off. I'm going to share with you those stores today. I'm going to name and shame. I'm going to show you what they're selling, a fake of a very popular and expensive niche fragrance, and I will show you the real deal as well, up close and personal, so you can see the differences, so you know what to look for potentially for fakes of this brand. So yeah, naming and shaming, let's do it. I would like to tell you that if you shop at LuckyScent.com for authentic and legitimate niche fragrances, use the code GENTS2023. Until the end of June, that will get you 10% off your order. If you prefer So Avant-Garde, the code is ASHTON20 for 20% off. And further still, if you prefer MaxAroma.com or TwistedLily.com, the code is GENTS10 for 10% off. And that stuff is also in the description. So, what happened here? Well, a little while back, I did a video where I was talking about a fragrance that I was going to be purchasing. It was my next purchase by Kilian's Black Phantom. Now, most of you are going to be aware, but in case you aren't, By Kilian is a niche fragrance brand, and typically their fragrances are fairly expensive, especially when you compare them to designer costs. So, like just about anybody in the fragrance community, I was like, well, let me check this store, that store, this store to see where it's the cheapest. I checked the usual suspects, Fragrance Net, Fragrance Buy, Joma Shop, ended up ultimately buying it from Fragrance Buy, and I do have it linked in the description from an authentic store in case you want to check it out. And here it is. And I love Black Phantom. I think this stuff smells fantastic. It's rich, it's sweet, it's very powerful off my skin. It has rum, it has coffee, it has caramel, it even has a cyanide note, which thankfully doesn't kill you. But while I was looking around, wanting to buy this one, I noticed some stores popping up in Google search results that I hadn't seen before. And they weren't buried deep down in the Google search results. No, they were right there at the front. In fact, I'll pull it up now. Yeah, you see, right up here. So you'll have things on there, Fragrance Net, Sephora by Kilian, and then, whoa, what is this? Aliona store, $72. Oh, and what is this? Wardrobe, Wardroobe, $89 from Wardrobe. Intriguing. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah, this can't be real. This can't be right. So if you look at Aliona store, that one is a very obvious fake. And yes, that Aliona store, ALIONA STORE, do not buy anything from that. That store is selling complete fakes. You can look through that website if you want to. Be my guest. I am telling you, it is fake, completely fake. Anything you buy from there, you're in trouble. But then I checked Wardrobe. And yeah, the website is not the greatest looking ever, and the name is pretty bad. Wardrobe, like wardrobe with an extra O. But $89 for a Kilian. Actually, they've got a lot of Kilians on there for very cheap prices. They've got hommages, they have other scents on there as well. And I think the tricky part with this one is it's cheap. Yes, much cheaper than it should be. Typically from discounters, Black Phantom is gonna be close to a couple $100. But it's close enough that some people might just think, oh, that's just an amazing deal. My lucky day. There are a number of reviews on the website as well that are 5 out of 5. Now, could these be completely fake reviews? Absolutely. They could be the company just leaving these. But of course, there is also possibility that this is real people. So that's the first part of the video. Wardrobe, don't buy from there. It's completely fake. I bought one. Now we're gonna take a look. By the way, I mentioned the customer service. After I purchased it, a few days went by and it had not shipped. So I reached out and said, hey guys, it says on your website that this should have been shipped already. Can I just check it and see what's going on? And they said, oh yeah, we just dropped it off with FedEx. You should be getting it soon. And then I did get tracking a little bit after that. And it was coming from Istanbul, I believe. I think it was from Turkey. And it did show up, and it was all safe and sound. And when I got it in and unboxed it, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely a fake. I reached out to them. I let them know, hey, here's all the ways that I can tell it's a fake. They did not respond. So again, you've been warned. So here we go. Black Phantom from By Kilian. We've got the real one and the fake one. We're gonna take looks. Can you tell which one is the fake? So let's tackle the box first off. Now this is the non-fancified version of the fragrance. You can also get a very nice box that has a skull on it and everything. That's gonna cost you more. If you're trying to get this on the cheap, you would get it this way. So this is the real, this is the fake. Let's take a look closer. So here we have the front of the box, and there's a lot here that will give away the fake immediately. The first thing, of course, is the color of the sticker. It is white on the fake, and on the correct one, it is black. Also, the font, Memento Mori, underneath By Kilian, it's italicized and a different font on the real deal. On the fake one, you can see there, it's just completely wrong. Kind of a smaller font that is bolded and not italicized. Also, the makeup of the box is different. On the fake, it's a cheaper kind of cardboard, whereas on the real deal, it has more of a textured pattern, which is going to remind you maybe a little bit of like the Tom Ford texture to an extent. Then on the bottom where it says Eau de Parfum, you'll notice that it is much clearer on the real deal, and it has kind of a muddied appearance on the fake. So those are all giveaways right there on the front. Now, if you turn it to the side here, you will notice that the binding, this tape that goes over the center part of the fake box, it runs at like a downward slant, whereas on the real deal, it just kind of goes all the way down. And again, the texture is missing on the fake. Now to the back, and there are a lot of differences here. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you may just look at the fake and see all this stuff and be like, okay, well, it looks okay, I guess. But there are many boo-boos on the fake one here. So on the fake, you can see it says Black Phantom Memento Mori, and then a little dot, ingredients, and then it goes. And then on the real deal, Black Phantom, comma, Memento Mori, in quotations, dash, ingredients. So a different way of writing that out. Also, obviously, the ingredient list, much larger on the fake here. One thing you can usually look for with fakes is misspellings, especially when you go into the note breakdown. So that's one thing if you're thinking something may be fake, is to look through there and see if anything is misspelled. You also will notice just the way that this is set up is different. The font is different. You have this badge code right there in the middle of the real deal. It is missing on the fake. You also have different info on the bottom. With the fake, it says By Kilian. With the real deal, it says By Kilian, and then DIST. It has a different address underneath that on the real deal as compared to the fake. The addresses are different. On the fake, it's bykilian.com. On the real, it is kilian-paris.com. And one of the biggest giveaways is actually right there in the middle. So on the real one, you can see it says exclusive sale through authorized By Kilian dealers. And then a slash, and then you have it in French. Now take a look on the fake. They start with the French, and it is butchered. It is completely butchered. After distributors, it says AGRDDE By Kilian. I don't think that's a word. And then in the English part, exclusive sale through authorized By Kilian dealers, spelled ORS instead of ERS. So a lot of giveaways on the back of the box. Now let's open it up. This is the fake. Actually has a nice Kilian K right there. But there are some pretty big giveaways here as well. So here's the real one. And you notice it's got a gold lining there, which is missing on the fake. And the foam is different as well. So on the real one, it's a different type of foam. It's actually a little bit softer, the actual By Kilian foam. It doesn't have that velvet overlay that the fake has. And then the fake has this cheaper, like sparkly foam underneath the bottle cutout, whereas on the actual thing, there's no foam there. It's just the cardboard box. So yeah, a number of things will tell you this is a fake Kilian, this is a real. Now, the bottles. So here is the fake by Kilian bottle. And actually, when you take a look at it, if you don't have the actual bottle to compare to, and if you're not a really seasoned fragrance collector, or you're not familiar with by Kilian bottles in person, you may get this in and think to yourself, yeah, that looks right. That's how by Kilians look. Wrong. Here's the real one. Let's compare. So when you have the real one next to a fake, it becomes immediately apparent. But again, the problem with that is if you don't have a legitimate one there to compare, it maybe won't jump out to you, all the red flags. So when you have them side by side, you can tell very, very easily that the fake, the font on it is kind of, again, more muddy. It's not as clear. It's much thicker as compared to the original, and just doesn't look as clean. Another thing with this fake is that the plaque is slightly off center on the fake one, so it's a little bit further to the right than it should be. Obviously, another thing that sticks out is the cap. It is a gray, a dark gray colored cap when it should be gold. Now, there was an original release, original version of Black Phantom that didn't have the gold on gold, but then you would have a matching cap to the color. So since this is a gold plaque, it should have a gold cap, and it does not. And it came sealed, so again, you can see that and go, oh yeah, this is not right. Another thing, if you hold up the glass, just the glass itself, and look for imperfections, you can see imperfections all over the front and the back of the glass used for the fake. Whereas the original, there are no imperfections in the glass. And you can actually feel these. If you run your finger over the glass on the fake, they stick up. So you can feel them all along the bottle. It's not a massive thing that sticks out, these imperfections, but typically with a real by Kilian, you're not gonna have those all over the front and back of the glass. Now, on the bottom, you look at the fake sticker and you can read everything really well. And you would think, oh yeah, I mean, that looks legitimate, looks good, but it's a completely different sticker style than what you have on the real deal, which is actually harder to read. And it does have the badge code etched into the glass on the real deal, whereas on the fake it does not. And in general, you can look at the bottom and see that these two bottles are different molds. Okay, now the sides of the by Kilian. Real by Kilians will have this more almost like aged look to the design on the side. It's very smooth. Whereas on the fake, everything is much more pronounced and it's uneven. So some parts stick up more than others. And again, that's something where maybe you would look at that and be like, wow, look how clearly defined this is on the side. But it's actually supposed to look not quite as clearly defined as it does, which you can see when you put them up side by side. Then the caps, they both have the Kilian K on there. They both look pretty good actually, other than the color difference. And they feel the same, actually. They go on the same. They're about the same weight. Now you do have, on top of the real deal, a K on top of the atomizer. You don't have anything on top of the atomizer of the fake. The atomizer does look different as well on the fake. It sticks up more than the real. And the atomizers themselves are actually different. So here is the real deal. It's a more typical atomizer. Here is the fake. The fake has a better atomizer, actually. Which is one thing that I think is very funny with this. The fake by Kilian has a nicer atomizer than the real deal, but yeah. Another thing is the metal plaque itself. So when you sit these down like this, you can easily see that on the fake, the metal plaque is much thicker than the metal plaque on the real deal. And then of course, the final thing, the actual smell. The fake Memento Mori, the fake Black Phantom, actually comes across more like a kind of powdery, rosy patchouli, and it lacks that punch. It lacks that coffee, that sweetness, that kind of edge that the actual Black Phantom has. And again, this is one of those deals where you can tell easily when you spray them side by side. But if you're someone who maybe smelled Black Phantom in a store or something like that, and then a while later you remembered you liked it and you bought this, you could be convinced if you spray this on, like, maybe I'm misremembering things. Maybe it was actually this. Maybe this is right. It's not really close enough that if you know what you're smelling to a T, that it's gonna fool you. You'll know immediately. But it is something where if you don't know any better, then maybe you do get duped. You know, they got the clone like 60% of the way there or something. It's missing everything that makes Black Phantom Black Phantom, but again, maybe it could dupe someone out there. And this one right here, this fake, I bought from wardrobe.com, knowing that it would be fake, or at least having high expectations that it would be fake. And then I wanted to see if they would say, oh, sorry, we screwed this up, let me give you a refund, or just see what they would do. And they just completely ignored me. So there is a great attempt at a By Killian copy compared to the real deal, so you can see these things, and if in the future you're questioning something that you bought, you can refer to this and look for those different things and see if what you have is legitimate. As long as you stick to either authorized dealers, which are going to be retail stores, or discounters that everybody knows is legit, Joma Shop, Fragrance Net, Fragrance Buy, etc., then you should be safe. But if you see one of these dealers pop up, one of these stores pop up randomly on Google, even though Google is putting them out there and saying, hey, here you go, you can buy it from here for so cheap, man. Buy it from here, why would you pay more? Don't just assume that means it's legit, because it very well may not be. So there we go, guys. Stay away from those two stores. I have seen them pop up more and more when I do searches. You will get ripped off. You'll have to jump through hoops. You'll have to probably file a chargeback with your credit card because they're not going to refund you. They're not going to respond to you as soon as they realize that you're onto them. Spread the word. Don't let people get duped. Thank you all for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.